Hello, my name's Alex Fergus from alexfergus.com. I'm an online coach. I spend a lot of time on emails and on the computer. And I want to show you how I manage my emails. So my clients message me via email, and therefore I'm always on my email. But I pride myself in keeping my email or my inbox nice and clean, all right, and on top of it. And no, I'm not slaving away on my phone every day. In fact, I very rarely check my emails. So this is what I do. I use Gmail, and I use the starred Gmail setting. So in your email settings, if you're using Gmail, you can hit the button here, the gear button, hit settings, and you'll be presented with this screen with all your settings, obviously. So once I go to the inbox tab, you'll see inbox type, and usually it's set to default, obviously. A lot of people go important first. I know some people like using the priority inbox. That is a way where the Google algorithm will figure out what emails are important, whether they're addressed to you or they've come back on an email you've sent. The algorithm will bump them to the top. Each of those have its benefits. I don't like the unread first selection, because obviously that just puts everything new at the top, whether it's important or not. But personally, I like the starred first option. Okay, why do I like that? Because what it does is it allows you to specify what emails are important and which are not important. So if you want to do this at home, you can go into your settings, select starred first, and then what will happen is your inbox will look like so. There'll be two sections, your starred emails and everything else. Okay, the way this works now is I can create filters or rules whereby I can set particular people or particular subjects to be starred, as in they are important emails. So for instance, all my coaching clients, obviously starred. My virtual assistant is a starred email, so anything he sends through, it's going to be starred. My business partner, likewise, anything he sends through from his business address is going to be starred. Things like newsletters, promotions, I don't know, people commenting on my blog articles or whatnot. I don't really need to see them every day or every minute of the day or every hour or every time I go into my emails, because they're distracting. You might have 5-10 minutes to check emails. You don't really want to see all that, especially if it's like a negative comment on your blog and you're like, I don't want to deal with this right now. So how do I do this? What I do is you can see here my side emails. All right. So if there's someone or something that I know is important, such as a client, I can simply create a filter. So again, gear options, filters and blocked addresses, and I can set particular people here as an important starred email address. Okay. So whenever I start with a new client, I'll set a filter so they go in as a starred email. What this means is every time they send me an email, it's going to come up into this section. So I leave the starred section exposed, as in uncollapsed, I guess it is, so I can see it, and everything else I leave hidden. This way, what I do is 3 times a day, Monday to Friday, and sometimes on the weekend, I'll check my inbox. Okay, so first thing in the morning around 9 o'clock, and then again around midday about 12, 1 o'clock, and then before I switch off in the afternoon, 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening, I'll come in and check it. Okay, every time I do that, I make sure the starred section is empty. So there'll be a request from clients, business partner might be emailing me about something, I can action them. Generally they're pretty small emails, a few minutes here and there. Occasionally it might require me to get on the phone and sort something on the phone, but typically on average I'd clear that in 5 minutes, sometimes less. And now the good thing is I know those are important people, I know they're important emails, cleared them. I do this 2 or 3 times a day, job done. No one's waiting for days for me to get back to them. Meanwhile, everything else that comes through, which is still important, it's not spam or anything like that, it is something that I need to get to, but it can clog up my day. Or perhaps I'm working on a particular blog and I don't really want to go through all those other emails today, they can wait till tomorrow. So everything else literally gets sent into the everything else folder. Now when I check my emails on those day-to-day basis, morning, midday and afternoon, I don't even look at these. I don't even want to open this folder because I don't want to see what's in there. Instead, what I do is 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesdays and Fridays, I allocate 1 or 2 Pomodoros. So if you don't know what a Pomodoro is, check out my blog, 13 Tips to Increase Productivity, where I explain all this. But pretty much I allocate half an hour to an hour to clear out everything else. Okay, so Monday, Wednesday, Friday, I know those are my clear out email days. So that way, even if someone does email me Tuesday morning, say, I know within 24, 36 hours max, I'll be getting back to them. Because again, even though I don't go into this section on a Tuesday, I will on Wednesday, and then I won't on Thursday, but I will on Friday. If there is someone that's starting to email me and it's showing up and everything else, and I realize, okay, this person is quite important, then all I do is create a filter, and so that their email address will be starred. Therefore, I'll see it every day. Okay. So right now, I'll just open this up so we can have a look, and you can see what's coming here. So got things about affiliates, Basecamp, workshop coming up, comments on the blog. So again, those things aren't like time critical. Like I don't need to action them right away. So the end effect of this, or the end product of this, is I can stay on top of my important emails, people that matter, VIPs, clients, business partners, and whatnot. I can get back to them every day. All right, like within 2 or 3 hours, generally, I'll be responding to them. And I'm not cluttered, and my inbox isn't like messy. Okay, so I open up my email. Okay, I see 3-4 things. I can clear them off in 5-10 minutes, and I can relax because I know all these other ones I'm going to batch process. I'm going to work through them tomorrow. I'm recording this on a Tuesday, by the way. That way I can keep on top of my emails. And now when I'm out and about and I'm on my phone, same thing. I set my Gmail app with the same setting. So it's only start emails at the top. Everything else I can't see. That way, if I'm, in a taxi and I've got 10 minutes, I can open up my emails, see my starred ones, action them off, done, and I'll worry about everything else when I get to a computer and it's a Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or whatever days you set it to. Obviously, you don't have to do this, but it's just a system that works really well for me. One important thing if you do this, though, is to make sure that everything else tab is minimized, because it defeats the purpose if you come into your emails to clear out your starred and you see all of these, because then you'll be tempted to read them and action them, and all of a sudden that 5-10 minutes to clear out your email inbox has turned into like a 30-minute or an hour. Okay, so always keep that closed until it's time to come in and clear them out. And then when it is time to clear them out, you allocate half an hour, you put some music on and you just pump through and work through them, rather than just firefighting, coming in and seeing something new, being distracted, knocking yourself out of that workflow. And, end of the day, you're thinking, how much work did I actually get done? Finally, I also use my email as a to-do list. So what this means is, if I'm out and about, let's say I'm going for a walk and I come up with an idea and I've got my phone on me, I just send an email to myself and just send it to my personal email address, and then that will end up in my everything else folder. And I know effectively what I've done is I've removed that idea or that thought from my brain and from my mind, and I free my mind up to work on whatever else and come up with other ideas. And then I know that I'll refer back to that idea when I clear out my emails. So let's say today I was out for a walk and I think of a book I want to buy, or I hear a book on a podcast, I just send it to myself as an email, forget about it, and then tomorrow when it's time to work through my everything else emails, I'll see that in there, that email from me, and it'll be like, buy this book, and I'll be like, oh, okay, sweet, let's go and buy that book. Or look into whatever project, or remember to call XYZ, or whatever it may be. That's just me. Some people hate the idea of an email as a to-do list, but it's a system that works really, 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 really well for me. Also, this way with the start system is it's a way to prioritize or see what's important. So let's say it's your partner's birthday, or you're only working a short day for whatever reason, or you're on holiday, right? At a bare minimum, you can just come in and clear your start emails, and everything else can wait, because they're not that important. Sure, there might be something in there every now and then, but generally you're fine. You just keep on top of the starred ones, and there's not going to be any big issues. Along with this, I use 2 other tools. One is called Follow-Up CC. I think this is the plugin over here, and what that does is allows me to set reminders. So for instance, I can say, every Monday morning, remember to call John. So I'll send it to every Monday at follow-up CC, and I'll say call John. All right, and then I'll send that off, and what will happen is that will come back to me every Monday, and I'll see that in my inbox Monday mornings when I'm clearing through my inbox. All right, I got to call John today. Or every 4 weeks, update clients program, and I know every 4 weeks. So just like as a reminder. So that's a really good tool. Likewise, if someone sends me an email, let's say it's a potential client, and I'm saying, hey, I got a new class coming up, are you interested? And they might come back saying, hey, really keen, I'm just about to get on a plane and travel for a week, can you call me next week? Or call me on Tuesday or something. So then I can reply to that email, sure thing, thanks. And then as a BCC, I will put, Tuesday follow-up, okay? And it will go back to him and say, sure thing, speak then. It is removed from my inbox and I forget all about it. I don't have to set a reminder in my calendar or anything like that. And then it will come back to me, that exact email, that email chain will come back to my inbox on the Tuesday. And he won't get it because I put it as a BCC. If I put it as a CCC, then he'll get it and so will I, which is perfectly fine. Like, it reminds him and it reminds me. So that's a really good system as well. I also do it for daily, or like every couple of days. I set myself a reminder, and I know that particular reminder is important. I need to do it every day, so I set up a filter, so that's a start email, and so I'll make sure I do that. Other follow-ups sometimes will usually end up in everything else, so I don't see them. And the final thing I recommend doing if you're using Gmail is to send an archive button. So settings in here, and then you've got a setting down here. I think everyone using Gmail should enable this. Send in, okay, here we go. So just set that to show, all right? And what that does is, if I now write an email, let's see if this works. It shows up like this, send an archive. So let's say I'm going back to someone, yeah, sure thing. And if I just hit send, that is going to leave the, so if I just hit send here, that will leave the email in my inbox, all right? And it will just add to the chain. That was my email I just sent there. But again, I don't need it in there. I want to clear my inbox out. So instead, what I do next time is hit that, sure thing, and hit this one. It sends it off to the world, and it removes it from my inbox. Simple. So that's my emails tips, and I've been using this technique for about a year now, and like you can see here, I've got 3-star, which I'm about to get to now. 22 everything else, because I cleaned that out yesterday. It's Tuesday at the moment, so tomorrow I'll spend half an hour, and by then it'll be up to 40, 50, whatever it is, and I'll clear that all out. If there's something big in there, like a big project that I need to do, I can then put that on my calendar for later on in the week, use follow-up CC, or change my plans throughout the day. But generally, they're just small tasks and emails and stuff. And this way, whenever I come in to check my emails, I know there's only going to be a few I see. As long as I don't look at this, not a problem. So those are my tips. If you had any questions, if it doesn't make sense or you enjoyed this, give me a thumbs up or a thumbs down. If you didn't enjoy it, leave a comment below. But make sure you head over to my blog at alexfergus.com. I've got an article there, 13 tips to increase your productivity. And I run through, this is just one tip out of those 13, okay? So yeah, I spend a lot of time on computers and working from home. So I've got a lot of tips and tricks and apps and whatnot to help increase one's productivity. Speak soon. Cheers.